Hello. Anybody there?
It cost you $9,000 for friggin'. Holy shit. Just 10%.
Yep.
They must have raised their prices too.
Hello. Is anybody home? You there, Carrie Ann? Lori.
Lori's
Put the
coming.
volume on.
Lori's coming.
Lori and Andy DeVoe.
Oh, is she coming?
Well, that's here, isn't it?
No, that was a thank you.
Oh,
Somebody's iPad's connecting. Who's there?
mhm.
Sounds like somebody's talking.
Find. Mm. Yeah. I haven't confirmed it. I haven't yet. He annoys me right now. Whoops.
Where'd you go?
I don't know. Are you on for Carrie's pampered chef party?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm Vicky.
You guys,
I'm
I'm
Trixie.
Cheryl. Okay, I'm Cheryl. I didn't know if we were supposed to put the video on or off.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for Carrie. My people didn't come.
Didn't?
No.
And I made a big pot of soup behind me for everybody to have some.
Isn't that nice of you?
Beef and barley all the way. It's really good.
Feed you through the lines.
Yep.
Sounds yummy.
Can't do anything with it till it cools down. So you've got to look at the mess behind you. That
Who
bird,
cares about the mess?
is that birds I hear in the background?
I have birds at my house.
Do you? What do you have?
I have an umbrella.
Okay, and then we're ready to rock. So welcome everyone. So glad that you guys could tune in. I knew not everyone was going to be able to make it, but let me just give you a lowdown for what we're going to do in this time together. I'm Carrie. By the way, I'm your favorite Pampered Chef consultant this week, and I'm thrilled to be hanging out with you guys. So this Zoom is a combination of 3 different shows that I have going on simultaneously. So Trixie, who's up in my, if you could give a wave, Trixie, that would be awesome. So she's one of my hosts. Cheryl's another one of my hosts. If you could give a wave too, please.
Where'd Cheryl go?
Where'd she go?
Oh, there she is up in the
There's-
corner.
Just wave, honey.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay. There we go. And then Donna, the other host, is busy at her bakery. I'm going to give a little plug for her bakery. In Newburgh, there's a delicious establishment, Abram's Bakery. So if you have not been there, go there. But that's the business that Donna and her husband and their kids
I
run.
love Donna.
Yeah, she'll watch this later, hopefully. So Donna, Trixie, and Cheryl are the hosts this week. And I want to thank you guys. We've got a guest from every show in here right now tonight. So that's at least one guest. So that's pretty awesome. So I'm going to, just because I have not new technology when it comes to here at home, I have my phone, which is pretty good. But if I zoom on my phone, I can't see all of you. So I'm zooming on my laptop. So what I'm going to do is during the recipe, when I'm showing you guys how it goes together, I'm going to be angling my laptop so you guys can see the workspace, but you're not going to be able to see me. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to enable the transcript. So you guys can see that while I'm talking. And if it's on your screen, if you're on a laptop like I am, there'll be a little line up at the top that says live transcription has been enabled and blah, blah, blah. And then you click the X and it goes off your screen for you. Okay, that's where it is on my laptop. I'm not sure what it is on your device. So I'm going to ask while you guys are with me that if there's any background noise, the animals are fine, Cheryl, don't worry about that. And Trixie, don't worry about your animals either. And Nancy, I know you guys have animals too. So if that's fine if they're barking or tweeting or singing or whatever. But if you've got any kind of like drills running or vacuum cleaners or stuff like that, just mute yourself.
Keith's at home.
Mute when the noise comes. What's that, Trixie?
Keith's at home.
Where do you mute it?
Depends on your device.
Over here in the bottom left corner is mute. Yeah.
What are you on, Cheryl? Are you on an iPad?
I'm on an iPad. I don't see
Anybody else on an iPad?
because Rudy gets pretty loud.
Well, it won't be the end of the day. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
So
So the votes came in resounding for cinnamon rolls. So that's what we're making tonight. And I'm doing them in the air fryer, which is pretty awesome. So what I've done ahead of time, I'm going to show you this, is I've done the dough mixture in Roscoe. This is the cooking blender. So the dough base is a 5-minute flatbread. It is flour, baking powder, salt, yogurt, plain Greek yogurt, because it's nice and thick, and then sugar. And that's it. And I just worded up here on the custom setting. It was like a 6. So anybody else who has the blender, it's custom 6 level. And then I let it go for about, it was less than a minute, like 45 seconds or so, just all gets together and it comes out really nicely. So when you do this recipe by hand, which you can do, you mix your dry ingredients together, then you add in your yogurt and you stir it around for about a minute, and then you knead it on your mat for about 4 minutes. So this saves the elbow grease, saves the time, all that kind of stuff. Plus Roscoe washes himself, which we love, right? So that's a really great thing that you guys can do just to, you know, if you're short on time or something like that. So the recipe is actually based on a flatbread 5-minute dough recipe that we had years ago. And then my friend tweaked it and added sugar and created these cinnamon rolls. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is dangerously good. So that's what we're making together. I'm going to teach you guys tonight. I will provide the recipe for you guys too. I'll post it in each party along with the recipe, or sorry, for the recording from tonight. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Great. Anybody have any questions? Okay, well, let's get going then. All right. So I'm making it, like I said, in Tuck, the air fryer, and I'm cooking them in the little baby cast irons, which are the cutest thing ever. They're terrific for any little, I've done frittatas in them. I've done mac and cheese in them, apple crisp, crumble, all kinds of stuff. It's just really, they're very versatile because they also will go on your barbecue, which is super handy. So stovetop, oven, broiler, air fryer, our air fryer anyway, and your barbecue. So you have lots of different options for doing that. So what I'm going to do now, like I said before, is I'm going to angle it down so you see my workspace. There we go. That should do it. It's not very exciting, I know, but that's what we'll go with. So the pastry mat is a best friend of mine because I can use it so easily and it cleans up like a dream. It's a fairly sticky wet dough, so you want to make sure you have lots of flour available. So I just keep some in my shaker here. And then it should just fall right out. So you don't have to do anything. There's a little bit left in there on the blade, but that's it. So see how nice and clean? There's not much in there, just some flour. But I'm going to put some water, and you don't have to have hot water when you start because the blender actually heats up your water for you as it's washing. So you don't have to worry about that. All right. Did you guys have any questions about the blender? Because I know it was featured in your shows this week. Nobody? Okay, I just realized I'm gonna need my rolling pin, so hang on. So this isn't gonna be huge because it's only 1.5 cups of flour to start, so it doesn't take a lot to get basically you're gonna put 4 in each one of these. So it's nice and small, but you wanna do a rectangle because you wanna have that log shape to roll out to. And you decide how thin or thick you want your rolls to be. If you don't want, you just decide, you just roll it out however thin you want to go that way. So when you're getting your pan ready, your cast iron pan, you are going to, you can put it right on the stovetop and melt some butter in it, or if you want to melt some butter in the microwave and then brush it in, you can do that. I needed some melted butter for supper tonight, so I'm using some of that in the little babies. So I'm just going around the base and the edges, get it all good and covered. And then I'm going to use the same butter right on my dough. So what do you guys normally put? Like if you could have a cinnamon bun of dreams, would you just go with brown sugar, cinnamon butter? Would you put anything like raisins or nuts or dried cranberries in? What would you guys put in yours?
Nuts.
Raisins and pecans.
Pecans, yeah.
Raisins.
That's a great idea. And do you like glaze on your cinnamon rolls or no?
Yes, for me.
I kind of like it like a monkey bread with the
Yeah.
caramely on the
Yeah.
bottom.
Yeah. All right, there's the butter done. And then it's brown sugar. So you guys, I've been making a recipe, like a cinnamon roll recipe for years and years and years. So this is like, I could do it with my eyes closed pretty much, except the recipe I grew up with it's sort of similar, but doesn't have yogurt in it. It has shortening and milk. So the only difference is the actual dough, but the putting together, I could do with my eyes closed. So simple.
So is the yogurt better than Carrie?
It's a different technique, different texture a little bit. It doesn't get as flaky. It's a little bit more dense.
Okay.
Makes sense?
Yep.
If you didn't want Crisco, you could use butter in my other version, like the one I've been using forever. And then some cinnamon. So this is a cinnamon that we carried over the holidays. That is delicious. And I'm almost out of this jar, but I stocked up. I think I need more. So what you guys want to pay attention to, and I think I shared this today. Just a second. I had to go pull out my other cinnamon. There are products that are retiring at the end of this month. If any of them have been on your wish list, you need to act before the orders are due, because otherwise they're gone and you won't be able to get them. Some of the items put on there that had already sold out. So there were a couple of things like the biscuit cutters sold out. But something I stocked up on is the peppercorn medley and the Dijon mustard rub, because I love those. I also love the apple peeler core slicer. That's a must-have in my kitchen. You can use it for apples and potatoes, but it's great because you could do basically a bushel of apples in an hour to get it all done, peeled, sliced, cored, you name it. Those of you who've been around Pampered Chef a while probably remember that baby, because it's been a mainstay in our product line. So I'm starting from the back of the dough and I'm just rolling it toward me. I want to roll it sort of as tight as I can because I don't want to have big gaps in my rolls when they are done. There we go. I think this is actually a little long, so I'm going to squish it up a little bit. So you can play around with it. It's not going to be perfect. It's going to be rustic, we'll call it. I think that's a great term is rustic. I know what I need.
at the end of our road.
I need my bench scraper. This has come in so handy. I didn't think I'd use it as much as I do. I love it. So I'm dividing it each one in half, and then I'm going to cut each of those into quarters because I have 2 pans to go through. I can use this bench scraper on my mat. It's not going to cut it or anything like that. So what I generally do is I leave the end pieces till I have everything else, and I gently gather this up and I move it to my pan. So I'll show you how I did the one. Okay. So then the ends, because stuff falls out on the mat, then I take these and I just kind of grab up anything else that there is, because I don't want any of that goodness to go to waste. My mom used to, when she made pie, she would have her leftover pastry and she would roll that out and do butter and cinnamon sugar and stuff like that on it. Did anybody else do that?
My mom did.
Yeah.
Growing up. Yeah.
Awesome. That was the main thing that we did.
Dough and cinnamon sugar.
And I saw somebody a couple of years ago when I was doing in-person events. She does that, but instead of, like, mom always cut it up into little like pinwheels. She'd bake them like they look like this. But this woman, she left it in the log form and then just kind of joined them together. So it's this big circle. You could have bigger pieces, which I did not object to at all. That was really, really yummy. All right, so I'm gonna get tucked, plugged in here, and these are gonna go in the air fryer. I can do them one on each rack, and then I flip them halfway through.
She got pampered chef. Yeah. See, halfway through Scott Pamper Shepherd.
Bear with me a sec. I am just playing around here.
Carrie Ann forgot her time.
So I'll show you where they went. They went. I hope you don't get motion sick while I'm doing this. So they're sitting in tuck right now. Sorry, there's an awful glare from my ring light on him. There we go. Now you can see him. So they're sitting inside. Hang on. Can you tell I don't use this laptop very often? So you can see one on the very bottom and one on the very top. And what I will do is I'm going to set the timer, and then partway through it will background. It will beep at me, and then I will go and just rotate them. So I'll put the top one down on the bottom shelf or the bottom rack, and vice versa. So with tuck, you have different functions. You have an air fry function, which is automatic default to 400. Then you have bake and you have roast. So bake goes to 350, and roast goes to 375. So I'm going to do the 400, and I'm going to set it for, I'm going to do it for 12 minutes, and I'll do it partway through. So you guys aren't going to be on here for this whole time, so you don't need to worry about that stuff. But that's how great it is to do something like this. And when I first did it, it was like summertime, and I didn't want to turn on the oven. So being able to use the air fryer as a toaster oven really helps out with that kind of stuff, because you're not going to be taking a lot of extra heat in the house and extra energy, right? Because you're not heating up your big old oven. So I'm going to show you guys now how to put together a really quick icing that you can use. Some people like a glaze. I prefer more of a thick icing. So I use butter, icing sugar, and a little bit of milk. Now, I don't have an exact written down part of this, but I'm kind of eyeballing what I'm doing, and I'll hopefully remember to tell you guys what it works out to be. So I'm just scooping some icing sugar in here. You can make this as thin or as thick as you like too. I'm smushing the butter into the icing sugar a little bit to kind of get it down. So my butter, I should have actually kept some of the melted butter to put in that, but I didn't. So we're just kind of winging it. And then you add the liquid a little bit at a time. You don't want to have it too runny. Otherwise, it'll just drip right off your cinnamon bun. And who doesn't want icing to stay on their cinnamon bun? I know I definitely want it on there. So I have a little bit there. So I just kind of play around with it till it's the consistency that I think I want for, you know, a nice thick pour. If that makes sense to you guys, a thick pour. Does that make sense? Okay. I never know if my lingo makes sense to people, so we'll just keep going on it. So this one is a little thin, so I'm going to add some more icing sugar because like I told you to be careful with the milk, and then I didn't even listen to my own advice. Okay. So this is about, actually that doesn't look too bad. So there's the, let me pull it up. There's the consistency of it. So it's kind of a thick drip basically. And that's going to harden a little bit as that sits. And then I'll just spread that on the cinnamon rolls and then they're done. So that is it. So you guys could do this same quantity in, it's too small for an 8x8 or a 9x9. But if you doubled the recipe, you could do that in a 9x9 for sure. Or if you have like our small rectangular baker, it would fit perfectly in there. Those of you who've been around Pampered Chef a while and have the mini baker, that was the 8-inch round stone that we used to carry eons ago. It would fit in that too. So you have a few different options that you could make. And this is not your yeasted, pillowy type of cinnamon bun like you get it at Donna's Bakery, because it's not made with that stuff. But it's a quick one that you can just put together with no problem at all. So if you want a little snack or a little pick me up, or maybe you don't want a lot of fuss with something, this is something quick and simple that doesn't have to rise forever as well. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Great. So that is our recipe. Easy peasy. Right. I figured it would be okay with you guys if I didn't eat it on screen, just to make you drool a little bit. Trixie might come knocking on my door. Trixie lives down the road from me. She and Vicky will be like, "Where's our cinnamon roll?"
Yeah.
Is there anything product-wise that you guys would like me to? I can give you, like, if you want to see certain products, I can pull them out of my kitchen. That's one advantage of having me this way, is that I can basically just go and open up my cupboards and drawers and pull out what you want to see. So was there anything that you wanted to clamp your eyes on?
What do you have in the line? I noticed you've got spices. What do you have that is celiac free?
A lot of them.
That, like for a salad dressing or things along that line.
Yep. So we, all of our mixes, our seasoning mixes are gluten-free. So the Italian is really good. I like the Dijon in a salad dressing as well, with a little bit of oil and lemon juice and a little bit of honey. That's a nice one. So yeah, there are several that would blend with that. The bell pepper herb would be nice. The Greek is really nice as well. The Greek rub. Have that with a little bit of oil and lemon juice. It's fantastic.
Okay.
Good question, Vicky.
Perfect.
Anybody else?
We're good.
Help me?
We're easy.
Either you guys are pros and you know everything already, or I've covered what
I know nothing.
Okay. So Carrie,
Yes.
when I was selling Pampered Chef, how many years ago, Jen?
25.
Many.
She was like my buddy. She was my Pampered Chef supporter. Yeah.
So you were the dealer that met her down by the docks with all the Pampered Chef stuff, right?
That's
Yeah,
it.
my garlic press finally, I actually went to squeeze garlic a couple months ago, and the center where all the holes are actually like shot through. So I was like, oh,
You were
finally.
saying that. My goodness.
I've got the stone, the round stones. And from when Trixie started, And I am so embarrassed. I refuse to bring them out in company.
They're so black.
I
Carrie's,
refuse.
that's the way they're supposed to
See
be.
that? You should be
Yep.
proud of that, Trix, or Vicky.
Yep.
You should be proud of that.
They should bring back that deep dish baker.
It did for a while and then it went off again. So, yeah. So bear with me while I'm just doing the old switcheroo here. I have a feeling that the 12 minutes isn't going to be enough, but we'll see. Oh, maybe they will. You guys can't see it, but I'm over here with my tongue stuck out, moving them in and out.
We won't know if they're cooked or not.
I don't know. I'll show you though really quickly. This is the one that was on the top rack. So you can see it starting to get browned up, which is nice. So I think it actually might work. There we go. All right, it's back in business. So that's that. Were there any of the big appliances that you guys had questions about? Because I know that they are new to some of you guys, and maybe you haven't seen them in action before or anything like that. Some of you already have a few already and are loving them. Because Jen, you
Carrie-
love air fryer, right?
Yes, and I love the press.
The grill prep, yeah,
Yeah.
the grill and griddle.
Yeah.
Hobbs, yep.
The only thing I don't have of the big items is the blender to make like the smoothies and stuff, because the kids stole that when they moved out. So that's the
You
only
need a
thing
new
I don't have
Roscoe.
here. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
It's at the kids' house.
Isn't that nice of them?
Yep, they do the smoothies more. So I was like, fine.
Fine. I have made, when you can replace yours or they can replace it for you, lemon curd in that is to die for. If there's anyone who's a lemon fan, you don't have to stand and stir and blah, blah, blah. You just put stuff in, put it to the sauce setting. When it says add the last of the butter, boom, stir it, it's done. Like, and it's so good. It's so good. Yeah.
Now, do you
you-
use that a lot?
The blender, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I used for the dough tonight, right?
But do you cook the soups and stuff in it too, Carrie?
Mhm. Yeah, right from raw, you put your veggies in with your broth and your seasoning, and you just turn it to soup and let it do its thing. It's so great. It cooks it. So some blenders on the market are designed so that they will, the veggies get cut up and it heats by friction, basically. So your veggies still taste like raw veggies, but it's smooth. Whereas ours actually cooks the vegetables. It's a cooking blender. So you get the cooked flavor rather than the raw flavor.
Oh, okay.
Tomato soup is incredible in it. I love the tomato soup. Butternut squash and sweet potato. Those are the only ways you'll get me to eat those two vegetables is with the soup in the blender.
Air
Yeah.
fry. Air fry.
So it's really helpful. I like making, I never thought I'd be the type of person to make my own peanut butter or almond butter, but it's great to do that. And for people who have allergies to dairy, they can make their own almond milk or cashew milk or oat milk or rice milk and stuff like that too.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, what about can I ask you about the tabletop grill that you have coming out too? It's like a little barbecue or something?
The grill and griddle, that's the one you have, don't you?
No, the
No.
barbecue. I thought it was a tabletop barbecue or something.
Yeah.
but not.
It's like this big, it's got 4 little legs.
I've seen it in the
Video
book.
shows people
Oh,
roasting
the indoor outdoor
marshmallows.
grill, is that the one you
Yes.
mean that it could be charcoal or electric?
Yes.
Oh yeah, what would you like to know about that?
What have you used it? Like, is
Mhm.
it?
Yep. It's nice and compact. It's good to, like if you like the charcoal, I love charcoal barbecue. So it's nice to use that just because I wouldn't use it very often. And it would just be for, those of us like my family. So I wouldn't need to do it for a big bunch of people. So I use that. I've also used the electric side of it too, because you still get the char marks and stuff like the grill marks and stuff like that on it. It's very easy to use and it's relatively compact. And it's great for people who live in places where they can't have barbecues like for the balcony, like people who live in an apartment.
Okay, that's more what it's designed for then.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. And right now you can get the grill mats for it on the outlet. And the mats just make cleanup easier.
Okay.
Yeah. And you still get the grill marks when you use the mats, which is pretty cool.
Oh, even better then.
Yep. Yep.
Little grill mat.
Is there anything else you guys would like to know about?
I think for me, that's good.
Okay. Hang on just a quick sec. Just beep, so I'm checking on the buns here. Sound done.
Yummy.
So good. Yes. So what happens too, because of the butter in there in the pan and then the butter and the brown sugar in the buns in the roll up, is that it creates its own little sauce in the bottom of the pan too. So when I take it out, I make sure to get all that good stuff out on the cinnamon rolls so that you get every last little morsel of goodness. Now, I have not tried this, Trixie, with a gluten-free flour.
Yep,
That would be a good experiment to try.
for sure.
Yeah, because there are so many different ways you can do that, eh?
Yeah. Yep, so many different flours.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I shall
that's right.
try.
Awesome. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Just a reminder that any guest orders are due by Sunday. This is Friday, so Sunday. And when you order, your order gets processed the night that you've ordered it. Like it gets, Pamper Chef receives it and it's shipped out within a couple of days. So it's pretty quick and it comes right to your door, which is awesome. We can also ship anywhere in Canada. So if you have a gift you want to send to somebody in another province or one of the territories, you can do that as well. Okay.
And that is direct shipping, right?
Direct shipping, yeah, right to the
Okay,
door.
perfect.
It's so convenient.
Very much so. Back in the day, we used to have to deliver to everybody.
Nancy and yeah. The host did that work. Yeah, Nancy, remember that lot, say, doing the deliveries when your orders come in.
Yeah.
Kelly, Jen, Nancy, I see my internet's getting unstable, so I apologize if I am breaking up.
I'm just over the hill and
I
mine's
know,
good.
I know, it's crazy.
Down at our house, that's why I came up, because it was so bad.
That is true. All right, you guys, so I'm just gonna stop the recording.
Well, it was nice meeting you.